It's been a long time. Felt like it's been like a year since I've been up here. Feels a bit strange, but it's good to be here once again. Now today I want us to, we just came out of 2025 and we are in 2026. And I want us to do a bit of reflecting. Let's say for us who are married, can we remember some of the promises we made before we got married? To our spouse, oh, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. I promise you this, I will serve you this way. For those who are, let's say, in a job, before you got the job, you say to yourself, when I get this job, this is what I'm going to do to impress the boss. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do this. For us who are married, how much of those promises do you feel you kept up to today? For those who are in that job, that particular job, how much of those promises you kept up to today? When I was searching for a topic, I was looking for something that we can reflect 2025, now 2026. Where are we going? So, yes. I chose this topic. Ready to serve. When I asked the first question before we got married, how much of us promised to our spouse, because it's always the man making the promises, I will wash your feet, I will cut your toenail. All of the promises. And the women say, I will serve you for life. I will do this, I will do that. If I should ask anyone, put up your hand, how many of those promises you kept up to today? Who can honestly put up their hand and say, I have kept them? You're lying. We read our Bible verse this morning. Brandon just read it. And we realized the decision that Joshua made. So as I was thinking about this topic, an idea was given to me. And the idea was, choose a traffic light. Now at a traffic light, we have three lights. We have the red, the amber, and the green. And most of us who are drivers, even the little ones, when you see red, what does red mean? But when it says stop at a traffic light, does it mean that you're going to be stopped there? For how long, you think? A few minutes. When you look at your Christian life, are you at the stoplight? Between 2025 or since when you became a Christian, do you feel like you're at the stoplight? Anybody feel like they're at the stoplight? And so, if you're not at the stoplight, but you are at the stoplight, is that a good sign? Because before you became a Christian, in your mind, you had a lot of plans. If you are a song leader, you are saying, I'm going to be a song leader. I'm going to read this. I'm going to be a preacher. I'm going to be a teacher. And a lot of times we make promises before we are in the situation. And so after you became a Christian, are you at the stoplight still? But for those who are not at the stoplight, let's say you're at the amber light. And the amber light means you're getting ready to go. So you're basically preparing yourself. You read scriptures every now and then, Bible verses. You're preparing yourself for what to come. We who are drivers, when we are at the red light, especially when you're in a rush, if it wasn't for traffic, if it wasn't for points or fines, you would have run through that red light. But if you run through that red light, what's going to happen? So we are eager at the amber light. But how much of us are excited when we are at the green? You know, it's time to go. For those who have the fast car, like the BM Series 1, you know, those fast cars, you're ready to mash. But even though you mash, you're not going anywhere compared to a BM Series 6 or 5. As Christians, when you're at the green, it means that you're ready for anything. You're prepared. You're ready for, if the pastor say, do this or do that, you're ready. But today we want to find out, where do we stand? Where are we standing? Are you at the red, the amber, or the green? What does it mean to serve? You see, when we choose that topic, serve, or to serve someone, or to serve something, or to be let's say serve, as married people, most majority, you would hear that the wife's supposed to serve the husband, right? It's not really so much the other way around. So when you hear that your wife's supposed to serve you, when you get home from work, if your wife is at home, what do you expect? Your food to be there ready. Well, that's how you suppose, vice versa. Let's don't take it one way. But say your partner is at home and you come home, you're starving, and your partner have not prepared anything for you. How many times, and many other things they haven't done, how many times have you questioned your marriage? Did I make the right choice? Now let's apply that to our Christian life, that when you've been called in service to do something, and you can't do it, you're not ready. Because even though you might have been a Christian for about 3, 4, 5 years, you're still at the red light. And so when you're being called to do something, you've been catch off guard. But why should one be catch off guard if they're at the green light? So in Matthew chapter 22, 36 to 40 said, teach us, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus replied, love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like it. Love your neighbor as yourself. And all the law and the prophets hang on these two. Serving God means loving him, obeying his command, and following Jesus' example by using unique abilities to do good deeds and serve others. What does it mean to serve God? It specifies and it lets you know, love one another. You have to love him, you have to do his commandments. But also we have to take in consideration, being a Christian is not only, although the main thing is to serve God, what about our surroundings? What about your neighbors? What about your family? What about your friends? How do you go by presenting yourself to them as a Christian? Serving others means putting the need of others before your own, showing kindness, compassion, and generosity. How many times do we show that kind of kindness to others? How many times, your friends or your neighbors done you something, and before that compassion come out, they cannot tell, they don't know your heart, but God knows your heart. You're wishing that something can happen to them. We ask to follow Jesus' example by serving others, give our life and a ransom for many. How many of us, when we are around our friends or around our neighbors, and just a simple bit of kindness is needed, and because we are in a bad mood, our friends or our neighbors suffer because of our action. But as Christians, if we are following in the step of Jesus, when did Jesus get angry? Yes, Jesus got angry when they were doing something that was not acceptable in the temple. But did he sin? Yes, he got angry with them. But when we get angry with someone, how do we display that anger? Does it come off with love, or does it come off with hatred towards that person? So when you're around your friends as Christian, how do you let your spiritual light shine around them, that even when you display a bit of anger, it still shows to them that you love them and you're willing to do whatever it takes to put a smile on their face? How are we serving our family, our own family? How are we treating our family? In Deuteronomy chapter 6 and 7, these commandments that I give to you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home and when you walk along the road, when you lie down and when you get up. To lead your family, God's truth must first be alive in your own heart. If in yourself, individually, you don't have the love of God in you, then what tends to happen when you deal with people? If you don't have that love inside of you, then how are you going to project it on someone else? Much less your family. They always say charity starts at home. When our children go out there, they display a certain behavior. And what do people first? What the first thing they say? Their parents. What goes on at home? So if we don't have the love of God inside of us, then how can we put it on to our children? But the Bible is asking us that we should embed that into our children, into our family. Teach your children is not just for Sunday. Not only Sunday when they come here, they should be taught the Bible. It's a 24/7 job that happens during everyday moment, at the table, in the car, and at bedtime. What the Bible is saying to us is that every chance you get, not only our children, let the righteousness of God that is in us, we display that to our children. All of this is a part of serving and doing God's will. Because not only when we come to church on a Sunday or we've been given an assignment, that's when we decided that we're going to serve God. But there are other ways of serving God. Your action and attitude show your children what God's love looks like in real life. And this is the way how you and I live our life. That our children, because we are looking at the home or family, that our children, the way when they look at us and they see how we reflect and the things that we do, that's what they're going to capitalize on. And that is what they're going to see, that when we say we are Christian and they see you living this way, this is how they're going to grow up. Because if you project a certain behavior at home, and then what are your children going to go out and do? Especially at a young age, they're going to go out and they're going to basically do the same thing what you're doing. And how does that represent you as a child of God? And you as a child of God, your job is to be servants of God. You're supposed to serve God. How are you serving? And we look at a few in the church, in your community. Are you serving righteously? In your community, when someone look at you from afar off, who've been around you in your community, who know you, when they look at you, can they say that, I know that man or that young lady got to be a Christian, a child of God? By your behavior, by your action, by the things that you do, the things that you say, in situations they might see you in and the way you handle it. If I should go into your community and your neighbor and say, how is my brother next door doing? What am I going to hear? Because a lot of times we act because we know that they don't know our hearts. But always keep in consideration that God knows your heart. So if we project a certain thing on the outside and think that they don't know, God knows. When you figure out how you're going to serve, then you're preparing yourself now to accept your assignment. Determined to serve. And this is where Joshua came in. Because even though Joshua was with the Israelites, he did ask them a question. You make a choice. But as for me and my house, we are going to serve the Lord. How much of us around here can say, my house, my family, we are going to serve the Lord? We all have a decision to make when it comes around our Christian walk. So Joshua was determined to make that decision, and he did. Are you ready to surrender yourself in selfless service to serve the Lord? Are you ready? Are you still at the red light or you're at the green light where that at any point that you're called upon, you're ready to serve? After you accept your assignment, you decide where to serve. Now, each and every one of us might be gifted in many different ways. And there are opportunities all around that you might not be good in singing, you might not be good in praying, but you might be very talented in packing chairs. Because not everybody can pack chairs. It's not everybody can set up the system. Some people, it's like they went to university to make a cup of tea. So you might be qualified. You might be qualified. You might. The battery is low too. You might be qualified. Oh, well done. You're qualified. You might be qualified to, like he's qualified, reach you, and there are many opportunities, there are many things that you can do. If you're not too certain, and one thing I would say about the church is that there are always things there to be done. So reach to the church, ministry, directory, visit the different ministry areas in order to gather information. Then gain the courage. You have to get that courage now, because at the moment, remember, you're no longer at the stop sign. We are moving forward, so we are at the amber light. So even those who are at the amber light, we are preparing for things. So then gain the courage to commit to a specific ministry. Whatever you're good at, do it 100 and more. Serve as much as you can in that area. It's all a part of our growth. But never stand at the red light. You're going to get problems at the red light. There are going to be people blowing at the red light. The pastor or the leader is going to be asking you, why are you at the red light? As a driver, I don't think any driver will stay at the red light for 5 hours. And he turn red, green, and he go back to red, and they're still at the red light. So if you're not going to do that in your physical life, why as a Christian you want to be at the red light to serve the Lord? A decision that you would have made, that you would have said that I'm willing and I'm ready to worship you, to serve you. I'm ready for you to take me any way that you want me to go. Would you take the right now to think about where God wants you to serve? You accept your assignment. Now, we are at the green light. The green light people and them, Let's look at the green light. What are you ready? You're ready to dive in now. So your foot is on the throttle and you're ready for any commitment that comes to you. The best way to serve is to experiment with different areas. Even though you're good at Bible reading, you have the tone of voice, as a Christian, we should still experiment different areas. Because in your job, you're not going to want to stay as a laborer. When you know as a site manager, you can make more money, we'll always strive to do better. But as Christians, why do we want to be stagnant or one place at the red light as Christians? We should. Don't wait for the perfect ministry. It doesn't matter what you can do, you can always better it. I don't think you will ever find perfection in whatever you're doing, because there's always another level. So whatever you're doing, always try to do something to move on from it. Don't just wait for that one. Always be on the go. When God reveals a need and a sense, the Spirit tugs at your heart, jump in and say, I'm ready to serve. So when you get that feeling, or when you feel that, right, I'm ready, I'm at the green light, don't wait for the leaders to call you. There are always assignments there, ready to be taken up. Run at it. Show the commitment that you're ready. What can I do to help? Ask questions if you're not too sure. If you're not too sure, just always ask questions. Because when you're asking questions, it's showing that you're growing, you're maturing. Don't wait for anyone to come and ask you to do something. In conclusion, Ephesians chapter 2 verse 10. We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good work, which God prepared in advance for us to do. To be truly great, we must follow the example of Jesus and prioritize the service over status. True significance is found not in being served, but selfishly giving our life away for the benefit of others. As Christians, let's look at ourselves. 2025, where was I? 2026 just started. Where do I want to go? At the ending, if God permits, 2026, where should I be? Set goals. Don't sit one place. Don't look at yourself and say, you know what? The red light is comfortable. Because if you're a red light driver, you ain't supposed to be in traffic. If you're at the amber light, it shows maturity. You're growing, you're ready to go. And if you're at the green, don't wait for, anyone to call on you. There are a lot of things to be done. Just like how you want to grow in your physical life, because in your physical life, or in your job, or at school, you don't want to know that you're the last one in class. You don't want to know that you're to the back of the class. If you can be number one in everything that you do, believe me, everybody will jump on that wagon. And if there's a way that you can get there, especially in your job where you can make more money, anyone will jump on that. But why as Christian that the red light, they don't call on me to pray, I'm fine. They don't call on me to sing, I'm fine. They don't call on me to pack chairs, I'm fine. As Christians, we should never be comfortable at the red light. I would say we should be okay at the green light, at the amber light, because we are moving forward. But we should be overjoyed that we are at the green light and always ready for the opportunity when the time comes or when we've been called upon. After almost a year, thank you.